Hey guys, welcome back to Tamiya Legends, and once again, thank you for stopping by. So, we're back with this piece of vintage gorgeousness. It's the Tamiya Super Fighter, Sonic Fighter. Yeah, awesome, love it. So, yeah, this is going to be a quick and enjoyable video for me. It's just a quick restoration of it. So yeah, we're going to strip it down. Not going to completely strip it down because looking at gearbox, it hasn't been used. Whole car's fully ball raced. Shocks need to come off. They need a really good clean, and we need to paint the body in two sections. So there's a bit of work taking the front and back end off to get to the white plastic body. And then it's just a case of, I can't remember, I'll show you as the video goes, whatever grey TS colour paint it is. And then we have some MCI decals for it. This is just such a quick turnaround. I love it. It's why I bought it. I saw the condition it was in and I was like, yep, that's quite cheap and cheerful and I'll have it in my collection. So yeah, I mean, literally, this will be a short video, but literally, this will take me 4 hours, and then at the end of it I'm going to have a completely, well, I was going to say completely box art Sonic Fighter, but I'm sticking with the Falcon wheels for now. It should have the white wheels on to be box art, but my personal preference on the Sonic Fighter, because it has so much yellow on it, the yellow wheels look better, but they're not in the best condition, the wheels, so we'll have to sand them a little bit, but I'm really not bothered. It's just going to be sat in shelf, and yeah, I'm over the moon about it. Anyway, let me bring a camera over and we'll get cracking. Just give you a quick close-up of it before we start taking it apart. So shocks are the worst bit on it, but that's just going to come off with a cloth, to be honest. The body shell's two-piece if you don't know it. Well, two pieces to paint, I should say. This comes off and then you've got this top section and then the actual chassis section. But there's a lot of stuff bolted to it front and back. So let's start dismantling it, and really looking forward to this one. Right, so that's the easy stuff. So don't have to touch that. That doesn't get painted. I did say it's going to be quick. I did forget we have to paint the driver figure, so there's a little bit of work in that. So obviously I've taken his helmet off. So that bit now just wants a good clean, hot soapy water or warm soapy water, and then that's ready to be painted. Now the eagle-eyed of you might notice that like air scoop, that's a separate part. But I've done a couple of these before and I just leave it on and spray that in situ. So that's the plan with that. And then as you can see, the wheels are pretty filthy. We'll need a little bit of sanding around the edges, but it's more a case of getting the grime out of them. But I'm sure we can bring them up pretty good. Tyres obviously are off. I had foams in the rears because these are actually vintage rears, and I think they were starting a flat spot somewhere. So I just put some foams in to stop that happening. I've taken the bearings out. So I'll wash the front and rear wheels, give them a good soak in sort of warmish water and get as much dirt off. But when it's finished, we'll get the tyre writing done and we'll get the silicone spray on them so they look like new. Right, so that's the easy bit. Let's get onto the chassis. So this is what it looks like if you've never seen one. It's very different from anything else apart from a striker. This is the weakest point here. Most of these cars all snapped here. So anyway, the 4 bolts here, I'm pretty certain that comes. I'll take the shocks off next, but undo those 4. Shock tower comes off, and then just dismantle that bumper. Has to come off separately. There's a few little brackets that I might have to leave on or take off. I'm not sure. Can't actually remember the back end. Anyway, let's start stripping it down. Right, that's everything off the chassis that needs to be. So I should have stripped the shocks actually, but yeah, that's what I'll do next off camera. Strip them, drain the oil if there is any. Doesn't feel like there's any oil in there. There is in the front. So yeah, got to do that. That's all off. That just wants a general clean, nothing too much. And then we have these. So again, this is ready to spray, just needs cleaning. But I thought I'd just show you the chassis. I've left I did this last time. I leave the 3 body posts in to paint them the same colour. I just think it looks better. And what else? And the 2 battery body clips underneath. but this needs a good clean. All these screws are hidden, so if there's any paint that goes onto them, it's just not a problem. But I thought what I'd show you is, look at that. This is a bit that always breaks me. I'm not going to put a lot of pressure on this, but just watch. Look at that. I'm hardly giving that anything. Obviously, when it's bolted up, it feels way stronger, but it's really not, because I mean, it's kind of reliant on this piece for its strength. Oh my goodness. Right, I'll come back. I don't know when I'll come back. What's to do next? In fact, I'll get the shocks. Stay again. I'll get the shocks stripped, and then we'll get everything into some soapy water. Right, that's the shocks dismantled, as you can see. They seem in fairly good nick, and then I've just piled everything in there. So I'm going to go now, fill the sink up, and we'll give these a good soak. Right, the wheels I'm reasonably happy with, but the shocks I'm not. Now, big shout out to Keith, RC Icons. He's actually sending me a pretty decent sized ultrasonic cleaner, which will bring these up like new. I've just used warm soapy water and a toothbrush and stuff, but it's just so grounding because it's the years. But anyway, it's way better than it was, and it's good enough to build the car back up with. It's quite an easy job. I just won't put oil in the shocks when I rebuild them, and then I can just whiz them off, strip them quickly, stick them in the bath, and then you know what goes on. I've done a bit of a light sanding on the fronts. They're not perfect by any means, but I think they're going to be good enough. But I'll make my mind up on the yellow wheels and the condition of them when the car's finished. Just wash the tyres. I'll have to see how they come up, and I've got the main shell. Over 2 pieces of the main shell drying. This is the colour. What's it called? Haze Grey. Tamiya TS32 Haze Grey. It's a lovely colour. So I'm just going to wait for those bodies just to really dry off, and then we'll start getting some paint on them. I think there's nothing really else I can do because everything else is kind of drying. I could build the shocks back up while I'm waiting, but yeah, I'll come back when I've got the paint on. Right, that's the paint on. Looks really nice. I'll apologise now for stating the obvious, but this colour is such aircraft grey. It's just fantastic colour. Haze grey. Really is a lovely colour. I'll just turn the camera around. You can see this top bit. So I'm going to leave this overnight now, but yeah, really happy with the finish. So awesome. Didn't do the inside because I never do, but yeah, that is sweet. I did give it a quick blast underneath. Nothing much really because you don't see it, and obviously it's going to tear off if you were to run it, which I'm not. But let's have a look. Yeah, so you get the idea. Oh yeah, that's awesome. So what I'm going to do now is actually going to just go get some pictures of it off the internet, because I haven't got my manual and I can't remember for life in me what colour the driver needs to be, and I'm going to have to paint his helmet. So I might try get that done tonight, and then this can harden overnight. But yeah, that is rather cool. What a colour. Right, just a little bit more progress before I call it a day for tonight, or for me I mean. I just dug the decals out and downloaded a few pictures of the car. I've also just put the black on, so it's obviously the base, the seat belts and the steering wheel. It's messy, but we'll tidy it up. I think the black base is the hardest bit to paint without getting it everywhere, so I'm quite happy. There's a decal that goes on here in black, and there's also, sorry, it's that one goes behind the driver, and this one, these two here are helmet decals. So anyway, I'm going to leave that one overnight. Also just painted his helmet, very orange, but yeah, apparently that's box art. Now, quick interesting fact before I call it an evening, a night even. The box art on the actual box is what I'm copying, which is orange helmet. I think it's got a red suit, blue seat belts actually, but red suit and like brown gloves. But on the Tamiya guidebook of it, it's the drivers in kind of all white. Another fun Tamiya fact. Anyway, so I'm done for tonight, so I'll come back in the morning and get cracking. Right, it's a new day, and this is what I've done so far. I'm quite happy with the cockpit. As you regulars know, I'm not much of a painter for detailing. Definitely improved over the years. But yeah, reasonably happy with that. So since you last saw it, it's now got red suit, brown gloves, and I've just done the silver buckles and the first decals in place, which is this black one here. Now I did say I was going for the actual box art, but that has blue seat belts, and just because I've done the base black and the seat belts black already, I'm just sticking with that. I think it looks great. So that section's actually finished now. Helmet wise, not so good. I've done the black outer ring, which needs tidying up, and I've just put the first coat of white on because this helmet's got the mask, and then it's going to have flesh colour eyelets, whatever you call it, on the mask. But my paint's really thin, so I need to thicken my white up. So I'm leaving that to dry now. So I think what we'll do next is I'll get the wheels built back up, and then we'll get the first coat of tyre writing on those. And then while I'm waiting for that to dry, I'll build the shocks back up. And then when I've done that, I can jump back on tyres, give them a second coat. So I'll get that done next. Right, wheels and tyres on. Tyre writing done. It's okay, it's not my best, but looks good when it's on. Shocks are built. I'm going to have to replace the shocks in the future. They're made up. The fronts have got two different springs. Never realised until I started to put them together. And one's got the yellow and one's got the white. Should be white. So there's no oil in them, but they'll I've cleaned them up best I can. Once the ultrasonic cleaner turns up, I'll redo these 100%, and I'm about 99% confident I'll have the bits to restore those back to how they should, and then we'll get some oil in them. But for now, that is what it is. So next up, we'll turn our attentions to this, and we'll start putting the bits back onto it. Right, that was quite quick. So the little battery holder, switch holders in position. We've got the two side pieces in, battery doors in, and the mounts for the rear arms are in. So that's all those pieces back in. So I'm just looking at what we got left over there. I'll put the front end. No, I won't. I'll put the back end on. We'll leave the front till last. So yeah, let's figure that out. Right, that's the back end on, and that's not the easiest because of the way I'd taken it apart. But yeah, it's on. It's that problem, isn't it, with body shells like this? You just being so careful not to scratch your paintwork. That's how that works, should you not know. So everything's working, diff's spinning, and if I hold the other one, it's turning the main gearbox. All feels relatively smooth, considering what type of gearbox it is. Right then, oops. So just wondering if it's worth me putting the shocks on, or if I'll do with decals first. What we'll do, we'll switch our attention to the front end, because that's a little bit more tricky. Right, that's the front end on by the bumper, and that is horrible, considering how weak it is. So to put the shock tower on, because it's like a bit of a jigsaw, it kind of fits snugly in. It's got four arms that have got to locate, and this has to bend a little bit. And I thought, if it's going to crack, it's going to crack now. Luckily it didn't. So you bolt that down, and then your arms go in, and then this little piece secures them in, and then now it's just a bumper to put on. Right, that's the bumper on. It's still the same. It's all sort of moving and creaking about. Anyway, I don't want to tempt fate, but yeah, so far so good. Right, so that is the chassis back together. That looks ace. So what do we want to do next then? I'm still waiting for this stupid helmet to dry. Shocking. Got nothing to thicken my paint up with. So bloody useless. So once that white, I'll show you. Once that white dries, I'll just do a little bit of flesh, just drop that in, and then that is finished. But then there's 2 decals to go on it. So we've got the wing to go on, but there's decals. There's a big red decal. They get rough, and then from memory, what is it, Jackman wheels, maybe something like that on the wing sides. So I'll put the decals on that before we put that back on. In fact, that's what we'll do next. We'll decal the wing up, and then we'll put the decals. There's a couple of decals that go on the top of the bumper, and there's a few on here. So we'll do that now, and then when that's decaled up, then we'll fit the then we'll put that. Yes, all right. I know what I'm doing. Right, I'm getting a little bit excited now. It's all starting to come together. So 2 TVA shock decals go on the bumper. So that's done, and I've just decaled up the wing. That looks this. So cool. Love it. So what I'm going to do next, I'll cut out, as I said earlier, I'll cut out the decals for the main chassis. Right, that's all the stickers that go on the chassis, and there isn't many. So obviously BF Goodrich, number 12, and that just mirrors either side. Because this actual body, or the upper piece, isn't symmetrical, it differs. So you got that either side, and then we've got these 2 patterned, like, air intake decals. And that's it for that. That's as simple as it is. Now, I've just put the helmet decals on. They look good, and I've just put a little bit of flesh colour in. It's not the best helmet I've ever done, I've got to be honest. I should really dot his eyes, but obviously we've got to let that harden. So I'll do that at a later date, because I'm quite keen to get this built up. I'm just looking. There are a few little decals that go on the actual frame, so I'll cut them up and we'll get those on. Right, making good progress now. So obviously the roof surrounds on, but there's that's one decal, and then there's a decal either side that you got to put on. As you can see, his cockpit's just about finished. Put the air vent decal in. So we are at the really easy bit now, where it's just to decal this, and then we can finally start putting the car together. Right, let's crack on. Right, that's the decals on, and that looks absolutely fantastic. Love it. I know the reproduction decals, but they're not bad. I don't think the orange is quite the right colour, but I could be wrong. Don't think I've ever had originals. And then you see the different side of it with the air intake. But that is awesome. So, right, next job, get the shocks on. Right, look at that. I know the shocks are not the best, but it's way better than they were. That's awesome. Right, next thing, let's get the wing on. Oh, I'm getting excited again. Nearly there. Oh, I thought I'd scratched it then. So, yeah, thanks for telling me you got to take top at shocks off to get the 2 side screws into the wing. You could have put that in the comments for me. Right, next up, before I fit the wheels, let's get the body on, because I don't think it fits really good. So I'm going to have a quick look at that. Look at that. You're just seeing it for the first time as I am, sort of finished. Love it. The fit this side's pretty good. Could be a tiny bit tighter. But this side, you probably don't really see it as much, but this line here, if you see it pressed down. So I could put an O-ring underneath a body clip just to put a bit of pressure on it. But I think I'll have another look at it another time. Yeah, all in all, I've got to be over the moon with that. Right, let's finish it and get the wheels on. And she's done. Ta-da! That's awesome. That really is awesome. It's been a while since I've seen one in the flesh. And I love it. I do. I love it. That's awesome. Such a cool thing. So yeah, we've got jobs left to do on it, but nothing major at all, really. What we've got to do, silicone the tyres, I have to redo the shocks when the Sonic bath comes. I'm going to have a look at that fixing. Is that it? Oh, and I've got to put some black dots, give the driver some eyes. Otherwise, I keep wanting to pick it up by that front bumper, and that's not a good idea at all. Love it. Let me do my little camera thing that probably annoys the hell out of you. Just means I can get more control out of it. So yeah, stick in the comments what you think. You love it, you hate it. You'll love it. This cost me £98, and then whatever the MCI decals were and one can of paint. So what would that be? Maybe £125 all in, and I've got basically, apart from them shocks, I've basically got an almost brand new Sonic Fighter. That is awesome. Yeah, love it. Absolutely love it. And she's done. Really happy with it. I know I say about most things, but it's really nice to get hold of something. I'm not a purist, so everything doesn't have to be vintage for me. Quite happy with re-res. Obviously there isn't one for this car. But to get hold of, you know, a vintage Sonic Fighter and be able to put my paint on it, because it's not had paint on it before, and it's awesome. And I get it, and you know, a lot of people really not keen on this. But as I said in the very first video, when I first got this car, I just posted a picture of it on the Tammy Legends Facebook group, and everyone says kind of the same things. That's fugly, that's ugly, ugly duckling with a strike or whatever. But there was a lot of people within the comment section who said back in the day would never have had one, but now, you know, in late 30s, 40s, 50s or 60s, whatever, you know, these are so cool to have in your collection. So I'm absolutely made up. I may do a running video in the future once I've got the little jobs done, and the shocks are correct and working. I mean, because it's very easy to put the electrics in this car and just give it a toddle round in the car park. It'd be kind of cool. Not so much for a YouTube video, but for me personally, just to sort of tick that one off the bucket list. Yep, I've run a Sonic Fighter. It would be kind of cool. But that front end scares the life out of me, gotta be honest. Just when I disassembled it, wasn't too bad. When I put it back together, didn't like that. And just putting the top section of body on, there's pressures there, you know, so I don't know. Maybe I don't touch it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know. I don't know, we'll see. Anyway, stick in the comments what you think, my friends. Are you a lover or a hater of this thing? It's definitely my favourite over the Striker by a long way. The Striker, although if I can get hold of one, I'll get one, but it doesn't really do it for me. And it's more so the box art. It's strange colours, it's like turquoise colours. Anyway, I'll shut up. So, as always, my friends, thanks so much for watching. It's massively appreciated. If this is the first time you've come across one of my videos, give us a thumbs up, leave a like. Hit that subscribe button, and if you do all that, turn the notifications on for our weekly videos. That would be fantastic. And if you if you just come across this video for the first time and you like non-Tamiya RC vintage cars, jump onto my other channel, RC Legends. The link to that is in the video about section today. As always, my friends, happy RCing.